Oh shit, you snuck up on me there. Hey everyone, it's Gus here. Gonna make some more food. Hope you've been enjoying everything so far. I did have a question. My very first question. One of my friends on Facebook, Darnell, that's not your real name, I know, but you asked what the best way to cook rice is if you don't have a rice cooker because yours recently shit the pot. So, when you buy rice, if you look on the back of the bag, there's going to be directions. For the most part, follow those. It's going to be difficult to do because some of these bags of rice, they have weird fucking instructions. But what I do for this extra long grain enriched white rice, I take 1 cup of water, which is recommended for 2 servings, 1 pat of butter, and ½ cup of rice. And you just put all of that in there, mix it around a little bit. Now, some people say to put salt in there. I don't, because the more salt you put in, the less water is absorbed by the rice. What I do, though, is I like to put a little bit of lemon juice in that water just to give the rice a little bit of flavor. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this up to high, and I'm going to bring this to a boil. Once this gets to a boil, I'm going to reduce the heat to low. I've got this lid here. It's got a little hole in it, which is really awesome for boiling water because some of the steam escapes so it doesn't boil over. But once this comes to a boil, I'm going to reduce the heat and I'm going to tightly cover this. I'm going to leave it the fuck alone for 15 minutes. Okay, just don't take the lid off, don't stir it, nothing. Just leave it on low heat for 15 minutes or until most of the water is absorbed. You'll be able to see through the lid if you've got a glass lid. That's the best way to cook rice. I know it's weird, you want to look at it, you want to stir it, but don't. You're just going to fuck things up if you do that. So while that's working, I've got some hamburger over here in this cast iron skillet that I'm going to turn on to mid-heat. Get a spoon here. By the way, forgot to mention at the very beginning, I have required ingredients, and that was a can of corn, a can of pinto beans, a leftover piece of cornbread, tomatoes, and rice. Now I'm opting to use, oh yeah, and the Velveeta cheese sauce. I'm opting to use some hamburger and some taco seasoning because I'm doing a Mexican style dish here. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. I'm not going to give away what I'm going to do at the very end, but this is not going to be your conventional meal. Just going to chop up this hamburger with a spoon a little bit. Molly's clicking around on the floor. Say hi, Molly. You know, she's more interested in food. I'm going to sprinkle some of this taco seasoning on the meat here. Stir that around, get that all incorporated in there. At the same time, I'm going to add some garlic and diced onions to this meat. It's pretty much a staple if you're going to cook Mexican food. You want to put in some taco seasoning or some chili powder or something. And I always like to put onions and garlic in there. Raw onions really are not cool for me. I don't like raw yellow onions, so I like to cook them. It's the texture thing, it's not the taste. I love the taste. I don't know, I'm weird. Anyway, you can hear over here, this is starting to boil. Just keep an eye on your rice. You know, once it gets to a rolling boil, you knock the heat down to nothing, put it on low, cover the sumbitch tight, and leave it alone. It's hard to do. Trust me, I know. But that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to cook this, and rather than just bore you guys with this video of me stirring hamburger, I'm actually going to pause this and I will come back when the rice is done and this is done, and I'll show you the next step. So stay tuned and get ready to eat, motherfucker, eat. Hey everybody, don't let the fork scare you. Update, I've let the rice cook for 15 minutes, took it off the heat immediately. That's what you want your rice to look like. You know, just a little bit. You can see some butter and stuff in there, and you just want to fluff this with a fork. That is perfectly done rice. Just like that. You want a little bit of moisture in there because it's still going to soak up some of it. But what I'm going to do with this rice right now is I'm going to add some of this taco seasoning to the rice. You just shake some of that in there. Just a little bit, you don't need a whole lot. I'm going to stir that in with a little bit of lemon juice. You want to get it nice and even in there. You want it all to be the same color. That's how you know the flavor is well distributed. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Also, I've got the hamburger all cooked. I've got it draining right here. This is a pan. Still got some of the grease in it. We're going to save this. We're going to use that actually. In this bowl, I've got half a can of beans, half a can of corn, and some tomatoes. What I'm going to do with this, add a little bit of Tabasco in there because it's got to be spicy, you know. I'm also going to add some chili powder. Gives it a little smoky flavor. That's good. Because I like things spicy, we're going to put in some cayenne pepper as well. And of course, good old salt and pepper. Like I said before, I don't measure anything, guys. I just do what looks good to me. So if you're looking for a quarter teaspoon this, fucking tablespoon of that, you're watching the wrong fucking video. So stir this up. Get it working in there. Yeah, I wish you could smell this. If you had smell-o-vision, your fucking mind would be blown right now. It smells amazing. One other thing I'm going to do, go into the refrigerator here. Because I'm a madman, I'm also going to add some jalapeno peppers in here. Well, there's no fork in there. What did I do with that fucking thing? Oh well, I'll get another one. Oh. Oh, that's a spoon. There we are. Alright, I'm going to add a few jalapeno peppers in here. Now you don't have to make it this spicy. I like things spicy. So we're going to put some peppers in there. And then we're going to add this hamburger meat right into this mixture too. I like to drain some of the grease off of the meat. You know, just try to be a little healthier. We don't want to all end up with massive coronaries by the time we're 50. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit. Molly's very interested in what's going on over here. She smells food. So we've got that. I'm going to add some butter to this pan. And I'm going to melt that. There's a very specific reason I'm doing this. I didn't take any of the grease out of here for flavor. Just need a little bit more fat in this pan. And I'll show you why immediately. What I'm going to do is this piece of leftover cornbread, take it out of this, and I'm going to crumble it right into this butter and hamburger grease. I want to just crumble all that up. I'm not cooking it, I'm just incorporating the fat from the hamburger and the butter into this cornbread mixture. And I'm going to show you guys exactly why. Molly found a crumb. So that's all I needed that heat for, just to melt stuff and get it incorporated into this cornbread. You don't want to cook it because the cornbread's already cooked. You know, you don't want to burn anything. What we're going to do with this cornbread, So I've got this glass baking dish right here. And I am going to just put this cornbread in the bottom. Oh, Molly. Smells good, huh? And with your spoon, just spread it out. Shake it around a little bit. You want to cover the bottom of the pan or the dish as best you can. Doesn't really matter. This is just going to be the bottom of it. Shake it around a little bit. Then we're going to take this stuff and we're going to spoon it on top of the cornbread. Just like this. And spread that out. If you haven't figured out what I'm doing yet, guys, I'm making a casserole here. It's going to be a good one, I hope. Alright. Now, with this rice, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the rice right on top. Alright, so we've got the rice spread out. Got my last ingredient here, this Velveeta cheese sauce. What I'm going to do, maybe, here we go. Just going to cut the corner off of this packet. And right on top, just squeeze out some of this jalapeno cheese sauce. That's going to give a nice cheesy layer. Now this is going to melt pretty good, so you don't need a whole lot. You don't need to cover the entire thing. I'm going to start this oven. I'm going to put this on about 400 degrees. Should have done this before, but hey, I've been drinking. So this is what you get. What I'm going to do is... Pay no attention to the dog coughing. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Holy crap, where did it go? Alright, got a spoon here. Just going to try and smooth some of this out a little bit. Doesn't really work because it's kind of cold and coagulated. But, you know, just do the best you can, and it'll be a little easier once it goes into the oven. Probably not going to do the conclusion of this. I'm just going to pop this bad bitch in the oven once it heats up because I'm stupid and forgot to preheat the oven. I'm going to let it sit in there for a couple of minutes, take it out, and then spread the rest of this cheese sauce all over the top. Then I'm going to pop it back in and I'm going to bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just until, you know, everything gets nice and warm in there. And then it's going to be time to eat. So, once again, eat, motherfucker, eat. This is Gus, Gutter Cooking.